Hey, I'm Sean with the Comics Pals. We are here live at Wizard World Philadelphia 2018. It's been an amazing show so far. Today's Saturday. So, some of the people are ready to go home, but Saturday is the biggest day. Plenty of different people out here. It's awesome. You're going to see tons of footage from us on YouTube. But right now, I want to put the spotlight on Bob Salley, who I'm here with live at the Source Point Press booth. How's it going, man? What's going on?
We're having a great time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday have been great for us. The people are out here. They're fun. They're having fun. Kato Kalin's in the house.
Wow.
Got the energy going on. So, we're having fun. We're making new fans. We're meeting old fans. We're selling books. It's awesome.
Have you had the chance to meet Kato?
Absolutely. We've done, this is probably like our 5th Wizard World this year. And he's always, he's there. So I always make it a point to go find him, take a selfie with him. He's huge on social media, so you can take a picture with him and you can tag him on it, and he will actually interact with you on it. So he's a lot of fun, just a lot of energy. I love the guy.
That's very cool. You yourself seem to have a lot of energy. Every time I come to see you, you've been upbeat so far, which is really great to see because these cons can definitely be a grind. What do you like about Wizard World conventions in particular?
There's something about Wizard World. It's just got that magic to it. It's got the balance of vendors and artists and the celebrities. I don't think either one really takes away from the other. I actually, when I was self-publishing, I was in Artist Alley, so this is kind of home to me. And it's, moving into publishing with Source Point Press and being in like the vendor areas was a challenge. So I think being back into Artist Alley is great because I know all these people. Like being across from Bob Camp, Bob McLeod to the left of us, and it's really where you're kind of closer to people, so you get to make more friends. I met Trish over here who does knitting, and you're really close to people, so you have fun. And it's kind of like Artist Alley is very much like a party atmosphere within the con itself. So I'm glad to be back in here when we do Wizard Worlds. I do like going out to the vendor booths, but I think doing Wizard Worlds where we're in Artist Alley is a lot of fun because you're around people who are grinding and who are really trying to push out their own books.
Speaking of their own books, you've got quite a few books up here.
Well, we got Salvagers Volume 2. It's out. It just came out. It's wrapped up still, fresh from the printer. And we've been doing great. I'm meeting new fans and giving them both issues, Volume 1 and 2, and meeting new fans. Meeting old fans that are coming back for Volume 2. But we also have everything. Source Point Press is here in Artist Alley, but we brought all our books. We got our horror books, Seance Room. We got The Rot. We got Billy Bob Thornton and Garrett Gunn's The Box Masters. We are doing books with, as you can see, Comics Experience, which is Andy Schmidt's online school, and we are partnered with them. So we have books like The Family Graves, which we already sold out of. We have Achilles Inc. that Andy Schmidt wrote himself. We have Wretched Things, which is like a gruesome horror story about mice and spiders. But we're really putting some like really high-level books out there through this partnership with Comics Experience. So this is like a new thing that we're actually being able to come out this year and introduce people to. So it's great that we have new things.
That's awesome. Comics Experience has been around for quite a while now. I actually took that class 10 years ago. So I'm glad to hear that they're finally making more inroads and that there's collaboration going on. That's very cool. Now, what I wanted to ask you was Salvagers, right?
Yeah.
So Salvagers is what you're really pushing right now. What is this book about? What can people expect to see from this book?
Salvagers is Star Wars meets Sanford & Son. It's gritty, blue-collar science fiction. When I conceptualized it way back in 2001, I wanted to do something sci-fi and different. So you have your rebels, you have your explorers. At the time, I had a job that I hated. So I really focused my hatred of my job and energy into writing this book where it's coworkers on a ship that have to go up and clean up space, and they don't get along with each other. They don't see eye to eye. But when push comes to shove and the job needs to get done, they know that they have to put their heads together to get the job done so they don't get killed. Because it's like Deadliest Catch in Space, Anybody messes up, you guys could all lose your lives. But it's really character-driven. Whenever I wrote anything, it was very important to me that the characters are what comes out. Because when you're reading something, the characters are what makes you come back for more. So I hopefully, as the writer, I did my job well. And when people read any book that I write, the characters really spring off the page, and when they're done with it, they want to know where are those characters going next, which Salvagers Volume 1 and 2 is over, and we are now into Salvagers Volume 3. And when Volume 3 is over, that will close out that 3-act introduction story, and then we'll start doing one-offs. Right now, I have a one-shot being done by David Hayes and Stan Yak. David Hayes, who did Rotten Tail and The Rot. Stan Yak, who's done tons of books. One which he's done with us is Boxmasters. So I'm really excited where this book is starting to become a franchise. Other people are starting to write their own stories. And it's all going to kind of cross over with the original characters. And then once those one-shots get bigger, other people can write things that'll cross over with those other one-shots. So it'll really grow into its own universe. And I'm really excited about that. We're working on a board game, a card game with Deepwater. So we have Deepwater Games is a partner of ours, and we're working with them to do some Salvagers games along with some other games, IP of ours as well.
Wow, that's...
Source Point Press has got a lot going on.
You're not kidding. That is fantastic. I love the pitch for Salvagers because it sounds like it's really splashable. So it works great as a comic book, but then it also sounds like it could work in other mediums as well. Is that something that not necessarily you think about when you're conceptualizing the books, but is that something that you consider now maybe the crossover appeal of what you're doing? Well,
I got to give David Hayes credit for it. David Hayes is the one that came up with Star Wars meets Sanford and Son. They were at a con, and my book was there, and they needed to sell it. And it's hard to sell a book when you're not there, when the creator's not there. So he came up with the tagline, the log line of Star Wars meets Sanford and Son, and it works like a charm. And you know who to say it to. You see some of these older men, and you say that Star Wars meets Sanford and Son, and right away they're like, all right, let me take a look at it. You see like a younger kid, and you say it to them, and they're like, what's Sanford and Son? So you're like, all right, so you work with it. But it helped me out a lot, and it has sold a lot of books. I probably owe 1% of all my sales to David Hayes.
So David Hayes, you're going to want to watch this and then immediately call your lawyer, try to get your check, and then, there may be money in it for you. Yeah, exactly. So I think you mentioned to me that you've got a Kickstarter on the horizon or actually in process right now. Can you talk to us about that at all?
Yeah, we have a Kickstarter that's closing in 2 days, so no time like the present to jump on it. It is actually already fully funded. We are less than $400 away from unlocking the second bonus goal, which is a sticker, Brigby and Tier sticker. And if you go onto the Kickstarter, if you go on Kickstarter and you look up Salvagers, you'll find it. It's a really cool little sticker that Eli Hicks did for me. And it's little things like that when we do Kickstarters. We always try to think of what can we put into these Kickstarters that are only available to people that back the Kickstarter, because you want to give them like a little thank you reward for taking the time to do that. So yeah, it's already fully funded. We're about to unlock a second bonus reward. We've already unlocked 2 other ones. So if you get in there, you're going to get free collector items type things. And it's cheap. It's just a pre-sale. So for a single comic, no free shipping in the U.S. It's $10. Gets you a comic book with some free prints and some free digital comics.
That's a lot. That's a lot of value, honestly.
I like to give a lot for a little.
And what's the name of that again so that we can get at it?
Salvagers, The Havoc of Blackbane. So issue 1. So it's the first issue of Volume 3. And the way we really ended Volume 2 is kind of like that Empire Strikes Back ending. So if you read Salvagers Volume 2, you are going to want to read issue 3, the first of Volume 3 right away, because you're going to be like, it's almost like as soon as you leave Empire Strikes Back, you get to see that Jabba's palace scene in Return of the Jedi, and you're like, okay, I know what happened now.
Awesome. So I had a quick question for you. You mentioned Kickstarter, and you mentioned what that allows you to do. How has the game of creating comic books really changed since Kickstarter has become more impactful within the industry? How has it affected your career, and how do you see that impacting the careers of young up-and-comers who are breaking in now?
Well, Kickstarter is a great way to build your fan base. And if you have an established social media presence and you know what you're doing and you take the time to really put together the Kickstarter well, you can set it up. I mean, if you look at a convention table, you want to make your Kickstarter just like a convention table. Because really, Kickstarter is a convention online where you're able to give something to somebody and you can give them little extras. We have pins at the table, we have little giveaways. So and then on Kickstarter, there's a whole bunch of other people that are doing comic books on there as well. So you have to try to partner up with these people in one way to be able to work off of each other. But then you also want to separate yourself from them at the same time, because you want to be able to let them see like where they should come and back your Kickstarter, because they're going to get more value, or you have a better product. So I don't want to say it's a competition, because we really do work together. Like right now, I'm working with Kevin Parent, I'm working with Marcel Dupree, I'm working with Tony Fiction, where we're all sharing each other's projects through post updates, and it works like a charm.
Oh, wow.
So it's a community where we all do want each other to succeed. Nobody wants to see a Kickstarter fail, because it's negative for the whole platform. But at the same time, if you're somebody young and you want to do a Kickstarter, don't go into it thinking that it's easy, and don't go into it thinking that all Kickstarters fund. There's more Kickstarters don't fund than they do. And the most important thing is to look at what other people are doing with their Kickstarters. Look at the successful Kickstarters and look how they've set theirs up, and try to emulate that, and look at the rewards that they're putting out there and see if that's something that you can do as well. So really just don't throw it together. Put it together. Take the time and take the care to put it together, because that's going to show through the people that are backing it that you're passionate about your project and that you care enough to take the time to put it together nicely.
Sage advice. I think anyone who's trying to start a Kickstarter should definitely heed those words. Here's someone who's doing it successfully. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
That is absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for Salvagers. Where can people find you to find out more about Salvagers, more about what other projects you're working on and stuff like that?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. If you go to Bob Salley, you'll see my picture. I got the Red Sox hat on, goofy face. And I'm on there. I'm on there always. And if you contact me on there, I'm like available 100, like all the time, 100%, 24 hours a day, to the point where my wife hates it, because I probably spend more time talking to people on Facebook than I do in real life. But I'm also on Twitter at Bob_Salley. You can find us on Twitter or on Instagram, Salvagers series. We're like 20,000 followers on there right now. So I'm really trying to engage people more on that. And our Facebook page is Salvagers series. You put there and you'll see the little logo that we have, and follow us on there. Follow us everywhere, because I try to engage with people on every platform that they're on. So. And we're on SourcePoint Press. If you go to sourcepointpress.com, you go to the store, you can find our books there. You can go to your local comic shop. SourcePoint Press has books every month in Previews World, and it would mean the world to us if you went there to your local comic shop and just put our books on your pull list, because it really shows the shops that we're out there and that people want us. So that means the world to us, is ordering our books at shops, putting us on your pull list. It shows Diamond and Previews World that we're really making a mark. So supporting small press that way is huge.
I think that what you just said is absolutely right, and there's more and more awareness towards that all the time through these Kickstarters, through Twitter and social media, that's really helping give a voice to some of the smaller creators who don't necessarily have the backing of Marvel or DC to get their point across. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
I wish you all the luck.
I got to say, when I saw these guys come to my table, I don't know if you can see the shirt, but when I saw their shirts, these guys wearing these shirts, I was like, I got to be on your show, because these are the coolest freaking shirts I've ever seen. I want to get one.
Thank you, man. They're not available quite yet, but they will be very soon, and we will let you know when they are, because we like money. We are the Comics Pals. We're here at Wizard World Philadelphia. I'm Sean Bartley signing off. Stay tuned for all of our Wizard World Philadelphia coverage, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.